let's get to the bombshell that shattered the
Let's
NFL that no one
yeah.
actually saw coming.
This one made me really mad. Strictly because and let me say this, and it's not just because like I have family that are Browns fans and blah blah blah. But um yes, yeah, thank you. So when you look at this trade and the reports that came with it, the Browns traded Myles Garrett for Jared first, a 2027 first, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third. When you look at the reports that were coming out of Cleveland, they were saying that, hey, we did not want to trade this guy. And they were saying adamant for weeks that we don't want to trade this guy. And the Rams kept calling and kept calling and kept calling. And I think what you do when you're a team like this should be if you get one offer that you like, right? And this is happening, I would say, right now in the NBA. We were just talking basketball 20 minutes ago, right? This is happening in the NBA for Giannis. They got an offer they like. So let's see if anybody else can beat it. But the Browns did not do that. Now, I'm not
Well, no,
saying that they did.
you're not going to be able to beat that offer.
Hold on a minute. I'm not saying that the return is bad. I hate the process that was committed, just because nobody else knew about it. And I understand also, it's also worth noting, Myles Garrett had a no trade clause in his contract. So, and he noted in the press conference that he had today that this was something he found out that might be a possibility next week. I'm sure the front office was like, listen, we're hearing them out. We don't want to trade you. But in the scenario we see something, would you be okay with going to LA? I would assume that would be fine for him. So,
Yeah.
now about the return. I think they did an awesome job with what they got. I just don't like how they didn't contact anybody else to see if somebody could maybe try and beat it. But Jared Verse is going to be a fantastic piece for this defense. I'm not saying he's going to fill a Myles Garrett size hole because he's literally the greatest edge rusher of all time, in my opinion. But Jared Verse is going to be a very good young piece to this defense, and it fits the timeline a lot better than what Myles Garrett did. On top of that, they recoup draft capital that they'll see for the next 3 years. These are 3 impact picks too. They're not 5th round picks. They're not 6th round picks. They're not 7th. You're talking 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks alongside an impact player that you're going to have on contract for what, 3 years after this? That's massive. And I listen, Myles Garrett's an awesome player. And Ben, you and I both agree that he's one of our favorite players, if not our favorite player in the league that doesn't play for our teams. Matt, I don't remember exactly where you stand on that, but I'm sure that you're a fan of Myles Garrett as well. But I'm just saying it's absolutely fun to think about this from the Browns' perspective, because everybody on social media is talking about how massive this is for the Rams. And I get that. We're going to get there. But I just want to say, let's not overshadow how the Browns got here, because not only did they get Jared Verse in the draft capital, they got Myles Garrett off of the books, and they're going to be free from the Watson contract soon as well. This is huge for Cleveland, and it's tough to see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. Totally get it. Your job is to suck for the next year, and if all goes to plan, congratulations. Now we're talking, right? And the best part about it too, they have offensive weapons. If they can go out and get a quarterback in the 27 draft, this is fun. We're having fun. This might be worth it. Just saying. Where do you guys stand on this?
I want to talk about Myles Garrett. Go to the Rams first. I want to talk about the Super Bowl favorites going from Jared Verse, who is a good player, to Myles freaking Garrett, who is the best player in the sport. What?
Can we leave Aaron Donald out of this conversation?
No. Find the fire, big fella. Like, I mean, come on. This is when you see a team, like, it gets my juices going, because a team like this, where they're just still in prohibitive, like, let's get even better mode. And I feel like that's the admiration that I have for the Rams, because they could easily sit on their hands, and Jared Verse could be someone that they view as a building block, and the Browns clearly view as a building block, because I still believe that no package is going to beat the Rams package, being able to give you first, second, third picks in the next 3 drafts, along with a player that you can is a 2-time All-Pro or 2-time Pro Bowl, has the All-Pro upside. But just from the stance of, like, you think back to a few years ago when this Rams team won the Super Bowl, they had difference makers on the defensive end. They had 2 guys in Aaron Donald, who is wrecking the defensive line, and Jalen Ramsey, who is an every down, can play anywhere defensive back. They did those exact things this offseason, going and get Myles Garrett and getting Trent McDuffie. And so, again, this team is on the timeline of what Matthew Stafford presents. We can, beat the dead horse that is the Ty Simpson pick. Whatever. I think that is more so just clarity at this point. I think it's more so hey, we're fine with the quarterback, and we don't want to risk this free agency class again because this one was horrible. But just from the standpoint of just leveling up, going from Jared Verse to Myles Garrett is a massive upgrade. Like, going from bad to average is a massive upgrade. Going from, Jared Verse is an above average to really good player, to Myles freaking Garrett, who just had 23 sacks.
DPOY.
Like, defensive player of the year 2-time. He has made the All-Pro first team 5 of the last 6 years, I believe. Like, come on, man. I think this is incredible.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the 3 of us have had the conversation, right? Like, the Rams were already. I mean, this is obviously based off of like sportsbook and odds that are out there. But the Rams were already, before this trade, the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. And then they went out and made this trade and just like solidified that, right? And again, we had this conversation, like, as it stands now, there's maybe the Seahawks or the other team in the NFL that can compare to them. And then it's everyone else. And then it's just a laundry list of this team could, but they need to figure out their passing offense. Or this team could, but CJ Stroud needs to, figure it out. Or, Justin Herbert needs to not absolutely suck in the playoffs. Or so on and so forth.
There's so much projection for everybody else. For everyone else.
Exactly. That, like, this just put the Rams over the top. Like, this is massive. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. And again, Ryan, I know you want to talk about it, but again, it just makes my bones shiver thinking, like, Aaron Donald, come on. Like, I know you're 35, but, like, come on, big fella.
He said he's flirting with the idea.
Yeah, that's what he said.
It wasn't a no, man. It wasn't a no. Yeah. That's awesome.
Exactly. So it would be so much fun. I'm here for it. And then again, from the Brown side, Andrew Berry had his press conference today. He had said that they didn't think that they were going to trade him, but Jared Verse changes the calculus of that trade, because again, Jared Verse is a good NFL edge rusher. He's above average, close to elite there. So when you can get that guy while also getting a first round pick that better aligns, with your timeline as a team, so you don't, you can maybe tank a little bit to figure more things out. It just made sense for both sides. It's just it's going to be a lot of fun. It's funny because again, the Rams are just right back, like Les Snead wasted no time going right back to the F them picks. We don't need them, and like that needs to be studied
for this player, not for like Ndamukong Suh, who's in his late 30s.
Yeah,
like that's
this guy's 30 years old. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is like,
and
I was gonna hit on really quick. I'm sorry, Ben. So like, when you think about the Rams' perspective of it, right? You're getting this guy for the next 5 years. That might overshadow what's left of Matthew Stafford. He's on contract. He's on contract for 5 years,
which is good.
At 30 years old, I see him playing it out. So my thing is like, if Matthew Stafford were to retire, you're still adding a very impactful piece to an already good defense for your rookie quarterback to come in after a year of being mentored by Matthew Stafford, to come in with a massive supporting cast that, hey, the pressure's not on you as much as it could have been. with another team, like let's say I would say the Steelers, maybe. You know, I'm just saying, for example, this is huge. And the last fun piece that I have to say, I mean, we're talking about the game. I feel like I'm living in a Madden franchise mode, and they were just like, "Yeah, let's win a Super Bowl." Click, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was definitely one of
but
those moments to where it was like, "Whoa."
yes, yeah. Well, and that goes back to the point that I'm making overall. Like, and again, this is a more like zoomed out perspective on the trade, and it isn't like micro focus on Myles Garrett in this specific transaction. Um, but it is really fun to see again the way that Les Snead has made this football team, right? Where
Yeah.
we talk about these teams that are like, all right, we need to tank, we need to get as much draft capital as possible, figure this out. Les Snead is all the way on the other side of the spectrum. He said, like, who cares? Why would I spend a first round pick on a player that could be an all pro corner when I could just trade that first round pick for an all pro corner? Why would I spend a first round pick that could be an all pro edge rusher when I could just trade for an all pro edge rusher? So it's just the way that he builds the team is just really fun. Again, it's a unique way that you don't often see, but with the way that you can manipulate cap now, it makes a lot of sense. It's really fascinating, and we could go into dialogue about it for 2.5 hours and get into the weeds of different team building philosophies, which we're not going to do. But it's just a fun way to look at it that, one of his only 2 first round picks that he's made in the last 9 years was Jared Verse, who he then traded away to get Myles Garrett. So,
Yeah, the
Fun
thing
trade.
about like the cap, someone had like put some projections out, and it was, I mean, the way he ends it is perfect. His cap numbers the next 3 years: $9 million, 15.86, and 21. No dead money after this. It's like getting Myles Garrett on George Karlaftis money because of this. So like you just
is
think about,
it?
you're still able to create, like you're still able to pay the Puka Nakuas of the world, which they inevitably will. You're still able to pay the Kobe Turners of the world if you inevitably want to pay him over someone like Braden Fisk. But he's not even walking into like a dormant defensive line. Like he's not walking into a defensive line where it's like, all right, Miles, can you bring us up to this level? Like Fisk, Poona Ford, Kobe Turner, Byron Young is still a hell of a
Byron
unit.
Young.
So like, I mean,
Byron Young had 12 sacks last year.
yeah, I am incredibly excited because these are one of the bets that I am willing to make. Like when the Saints are trading 2 first round picks to move up in the draft in 2018 when they're trying to win a Super Bowl. That's just wrong. That's just not how you do it. Because again, like trading draft capital, get proven players, get real
Yes.
players, and Myles Garrett is as real as they come, and he can transform a defense, and he's done for how long with Cleveland, and I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but just overall, I think he supercharges any defense he's on, and now he's going to supercharge a Super Bowl defense, and that makes me super excited.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for the 2 big trades.